Hello and welcome to our channel Jit Ki Pathshala. Today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the chapter Change of the Earth's Surface, and the topic for today is transportational and depositional works of a river. In our earlier video we have already discussed about the first work of a river, that is erosion, and in today's class we will discuss about the transportational and depositional works of a river. So let's begin. The rivers generate sediments through their erosional activities. So when the water in the river flows from one place to another, it also carries large amount of sediment which are generated by the erosional activities of a river. These are carried downward and deposited in the channels, banks and mouths. And these sediments are carried down and finally deposited sometimes in the channels or in the banks and the mouth of a river. A river carries sediments in three different ways, and these sediments are carried by the river in three different ways. A. Some are carried in dissolved state. Secondly, some others in suspended state, and the third one is in the rolling state. Generally, the salts present in the soil come into contact with the river water, and these are transported to the sea or ocean in the dissolved state. So when rainfall occurs, the rainwater get mixed with the soil, and the salt that present in the soil come into contact with the river water, and finally these salts are transported to the sea or in the ocean in the dissolved state. On the other hand, teeny particles of sand, mud and silt are transported by water current in suspended state and deposited on the river bed and banks. Teeny particles of sand, mud and silt which are transported by the water current from one place to another in suspended states are deposited on the river bed and sometimes on the river bank. And these are also transported to the oceans, and these teeny particles of sand and mud are also carried in suspended state to the oceans. Moreover, relatively big particles are transported down by current in rolling state, and big particles are transported down by current in rolling state. So sometimes what happens, the river water also gets some heavy particles which are not easily transported. These big particles are transported down by the force of water in rolling state. These materials are also called bed load, and these materials which are carried on the bottom of the river from one place to another by the force of water are also called bed load. When the water gradually becomes weak over the plain, the rolling loads get deposited over the river bed. And as we know that when the river enters into the plain area, the force of water decline. As a result, the sediments or the bed loads which were carried by the water cannot be transported furthermore, due to which these sediments get deposited on the river bed. We can also say that these bed loads are deposited on the river bed. These materials thus carried down by the rivers deposited on the banks and the river mouths to form a variety of features. And when these sediments get deposited on the river banks or in the mouth of the rivers, it starts forming different types of features. Some of the features which are formed by the deposition of different kinds of sediments are sandbar, floodplain, natural levee and delta. Okay, these are some of the features which are formed by the depositional of different types of sediments. Normally, erosional activities take place in the upper course of a river, while in the middle and the lower course sediments are deposited on the bed and the banks. So generally, the erosional activity in a river take place in the upper course, because in the hilly region, the force or the intensity of water in the river is generally high. As a result, erosional activities are also seen maximum in the hilly region as compared to the middle and the lower course. But if we see middle course and the lower course, here sediment deposition are found more. It means what? Erosional activity is higher in the upper course, but in the middle and lower course sediment deposition are more. And for this, the main reason is what? When the river enters into the plain area, the intensity of the water decreases. As a result, the sediments which were carried by the water cannot be transported furthermore, and the deposition process starts here. As a result of long continued sediment deposition, alluvial plains are formed on both the banks. And as a result of long and continued deposition of sediments, suitable plains are formed on the both sides of the bank. Such plains are called flat plain. So this one is very much important. We have to remember that flat plains are generally formed because of long continued sediment deposition, okay, on the both side of the banks. Sediments here, it means the small particles of sand or rocks, silt, everything. And when these are deposited on the two sides of a river bank, a plain surface is formed which is known as flat plain. And these flat plain are suitable for cultivation. Generally, during floods, sands, mud and silt carried down by the river is spread out to a long distance over the banks. So during the time of summer, that means during the time of floods, sands, muds and silts, these are the sediments which are carried by the water in the river. These are spread out to a long distance over the bank. The flat plains are fertile and suitable for cultivation. As I have already said, flat plains are suitable for cultivation because these are fertile due to the deposition of sand, mud and silt. Extensive, that means widespread flat plains are there on the banks of the great rivers like Brahmaputra, Ganga, Indus, Mississippi, Nile, Amazon, Hongho, etc. So large area which are covered by flat plains can be seen on some of the important rivers around the world like Brahmaputra, Ganga, Indus, Mississippi, Nile, Amazon, Hongho, etc. On the other hand, the sandbars formed of the sediments on the river bed are significant from various point of view. On the other hand, the sandbars formed, that means when sediments are deposited on the river bed, some special features are formed which are also known as sandbars, and these sandbars has some of its importance. Sandbars are formed both on the sides and the middle of the river bed. So sandbars can be seen in all the part of a river. It may be on the middle or sometimes it may be on the side of a river. Generally, sandbars are temporary and of various size and shapes. So generally sandbars are of temporary in nature with various size and shapes. The speedy flow of the river during summer affects the size and shapes of the sandbars. So the sandbars which are created by the deposition of sediments in the middle of the river get effect due to the flow of river water during summer. As in summer, the amount of water and the intensity of water increases in the river, it directly come into the contact of the sandbars that present in the river. Here sandbars means some of the structure, some of the features which are formed by the deposition of sediments. Sometimes bank erosion completely wipes out of them, and sometimes the sandbars are completely washed away by the erosion. The sandbars becomes visible when river water subsides during winter, and this kind of sandbars, that means the different types of features that are created on the river, can be seen during winter season when the water level decreases. A large number of sandbars are there on the bed of the Brahmaputra. So in the river Brahmaputra also many numbers of sandbars are there. The great river island Majuli is a kind of sandbar of the river Brahmaputra. The island Majuli is also an example of sandbars that present in river Brahmaputra. It should be noted that the relatively heavy materials, boulders, pebbles and large sands carried by a river cannot be transported to longer distance over the bank. It is important to note here that boulders, that means some big rocks or some small rocks or different types of sands, cannot be carried to a longer distance by the river water. These are normally deposited near the channel, and these things are deposited nearby the river channel. The materials thus deposited may take the shape of a long embankment, and the materials here means like the boulders, pebbles and large sands which cannot be carried by the river water to a longer distance get deposited on the two sides of a river bank, which looks like a long embankment. As it is formed naturally, therefore it is called natural levee. In the case of the big rivers, natural levee are clearly seen. So in the big rivers, these long embankments which are formed naturally can be seen clearly. In some place on the bank of the Brahmaputra also such levees are there. So in some part of river Brahmaputra we can see this kind of natural levees. The islands formed in the river mouths are highly significant from geographical point of view. In the coastal shallow seas where the rivers debouch means go through, islands are formed by the river deposits. So the islands that are formed in the rivers are very much important, and especially in the coastal area where the river flows, some islands are formed by the deposition of the sediments which are carried by river water. These islands take the shape of Assamese letter B or the English letter D, and the islands which are formed by the deposition of the sediments carried by the river water generally take the shape of Assamese letter B or the English letter D. So these islands which are formed nearby the mouth of a river which takes the shape of Assamese letter B or the English letter D are called deltas. And most of the rivers that are present in the world, they form deltas in their mouths. So some of the rivers which are very popular for its deltas are Ganga, the Brahmaputra, the Nile and the Mississippi. So this was about the transportational and depositional features or the works of a river. Hope you have understood something about the works of a river, and the remaining part of the lesson we'll discuss in our upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching the video.